Hey, welcome back, everybody. We've got the cards out today. So what time is it? It's blind trade time. It's blind trade time. Yes, that's right. It's blind trade, where friends and subscribers of ours send us cards or photographs through the mail that are autographed. And I'm seeing them for the first time as you're seeing them. And we do a card for card or photo for photo change. And I mail them back to the person who sent me the cards or photos. And by the time they receive them, I put out the video so everyone can see the trade. And we've done several of them so far. This is another one with a fellow YouTuber. It's Kurt over at Klummps Cards. I've blocked his address, of course, who sent us some cards in a plain white envelope. And he said he would include maybe some basketball and hockey, knowing that my supplies of both of those sports are very low and that I would not need to match up sport for sport, that I could send him baseball and football and that he could help build my card collection. So I appreciate that. So let's get right into it. You guys know Klummps Cards. He does a lot of TTM autograph work and videos. I'll, of course, put a link down to his page down below. After this video is over, go down then in the description down below and click over there, check him out, give him a subscription. He does a really good job and is very active in his TTM pursuits. We all like to get through the mail autographs, and he does a super job. So check him out after you watch this video and let him know what you think of this trade. Anyway, without further ado, let's bust it open and see what's going on in here. Klump, what'd you get me, buddy? Here's a note in there. I see a John Paxson right on top. Okay. Let me read this note. Okay, thanks for the trade, Michael. Hope you enjoy. Kurt Mapes of Klummps Cards, revealing his identity. We all know him as Klump. This side open. This side open. Okay. So we've got Terry Porter and John Paxson, who are on each side of this note card wrapped cards. Okay. And there's a hockey player right there on top. Of course, Klump's up in Michigan. All those Michiganites are very familiar with the hockey teams up there. Seems like they're all hockey fans. Don't mean to generalize, but when you have professional franchises in your area, it's much easier to become a fan of the sport. Of course, we don't have any professional franchises at all in West Virginia, but we definitely don't have hockey. All right, Kevin Miller. Kevin Miller. I don't know Kevin Miller. I'm not supposed to, I guess. You need to let me know if he's a Hall of Famer and a great player, and I'm giving you a common player in exchange. Let me know, and we'll make up a difference later. Why am I getting this glare here? All right, Scott Case, we know him. Defensive back for the Falcons. Merle Hodges, a.k.a. Merle Hodges, the factor back. Great Steeler for years and years. Bill Brooks, who did not personalize, which he does now. And Kelly Miller. Kevin and Kelly. Are they twins? I bet they are twins. They look a lot alike. Kevin and Kelly Miller. Birthplace Lansing, Michigan. Well, they're not twins because they have separate birthdays. Shoots left, shoots right, 5'10". They're about the same size. Born 2 years apart. All right. Let's see if it says on the back there. Okay, it doesn't say. I assume they're brothers. That may be a false assumption, of course. And Tony, okay, if he's like Tony Kukoc, this will be Tony Herkoch. Tony Herkoch. All right, he's 54 years old. Played for the Quebec Nordiques. Tony Herkoch. Don't know Tony? We'll hook you up with a baseball or football player in lieu of. Okay, we've got 3 hockeys. So Klummps is going to get football or baseball in exchange for those. We'll leave Klummps cards so people can see that during the process. All right, Bill Brooks. Who are we going to get for Bill Brooks? Right down here at the end of the line. 5:30 into this. Okay, Bill Brooks. We're going to go football, which is on here on the right side. And we're going to go with whom? Not Pat Leahy. He's a kicker. Well, I missed it. Wait. I'm looking for Reggie Langhorne. That'd be a good exchange. Pretty cool. Oh, we have one at the end of the line. Reggie Langhorne for Bill Brooks. 2 players played in the same era. Both did really well. Brooks caught a lot of balls. He's in the Colts Ring of Honor or Colts Hall of Fame. Langhorne was great for the Brownies. All right, so we got Bill Brooks for Reggie Langhorne. Next up, Merle Hodges. Merle Hodges. My brother-in-law worked at a card shop in the late 80s and early 90s. And a guy came in. His name was Steve. He used to come in all the time. He'd be very manic. And he'd say, he said, how much are these football players worth? How much are these football players worth? And my brother-in-law would be like, well, it depends on who you have, which player it is. You know, if it's Emmitt Smith, it's worth a lot more than other players. He said, well, and he points to the showcase there and he says, I've got hundreds of cards of Merle Hodges. How much is Merle Hodges worth? So he's forever known as Merle Hodges between me and my brother-in-law and I. Merle Hodges. I've got several cards of Merle Hodges. How much is he worth? Merle Hodges, well, he was a good, really good player for the Steelers. And then he got repeated concussions. He was one of the first ones in the NFL to be to have to quit the game because of concussions. It was really affecting him pretty badly. Okay. There's Moose down. All right. Let's see this here. Gonna go for a Daryl Johnston. He's got a great signature. Man, he's got a great signature. At the end of the line. Inspirations cards. Moose Johnston for Merle Hodges. Forever known as Merle Hodges. All right, Scott Case, really good defensive back. Led the league in interceptions for a year. We're going to go for a guy we just recently got back, I think, if I remember correctly. On a game day issue as well. Stand up for this one. Stand up. Merle Hodges. All right, Merle Hodges. How much is Merle Hodges worth? Merle Hodges. Okay. Another really good D-back. D-back for D-back. Both played safety. Scott Case for David Fulcher. Again, they played in the same era as well. So that's pretty good. We're matching up pretty well. Hodges and Moose played in the same era. Basketball, again, we're going to go football or baseball for these. Let's put those aside for now. Although John Paxson, that's interesting because he was a player. Then he became involved in management with the Bulls. And just recently retired, I think, or was forced out. So we can go baseball. Some guy who was in management and good player. Get some cards. cards of this guy for sure. I'm thinking. This guy was a player for a long time, very good player. Then he became a coach for a long time. Then he was a very good manager, and he's still coaching, I think. He's still involved in the Phillies organization somehow. And that is Mr. Larry Boa on that 83 Topps. That's a regular issue card. He was involved. That's a pretty good matchup, I'm thinking. John Paxson for Larry Boa. Paxson was a good player. Won a ring. Klummps cards moved. All right, Paxson for Boa. Me on top. Terry Porter was a really good player. A lot of years. Long time he played. Kind of underrated. Averaged probably 13 points a game over the course of his career. Probably played for 12, 13 years. Good player. Kind of flew under the radar for a long time. Had teammates that were high flying, like Clyde Drexler with the Trailblazers there, that kind of earned the accolades and earned the headlines. Porter was just kind of a steady guy. I've got someone in mind there. Yeah. Another steady player, performed for years and years, didn't get many accolades, but was a very dependable guy. Let's go with Mr. Brett Butler. Brett Butler here pictured with the Giants. He kind of flew under the radar. Only made one All-Star team in his career, which is just unheard of. It's unbelievable. I couldn't believe that when I got him back recently and started doing a little research on him. Okay, now the three hockey guys. Three hockey players. What are we going to do? What are we going to do? What are we going to do? Well, again, if these guys are Hall of Famers or famous, worth value, then we'll make up the difference later. But Keith and Kelly Miller are very similar, looks like. And, well, we got to go with a, since Klummps is in the Michigan area, don't you think we've got to hook him up with a Lion? I think so. Have some music in the background or something. Boom, 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 boom. Mr. Eddie Murray, Detroit Lion kicker for years and years and years and years and years. For Kevin Miller and Keith Miller. Keith Miller, Keith Miller, Keith Miller. It's the guy we got back recently. Pitched for, what did he say, 17 seasons? I think. Little League World Series as a 12-year-old. Wilson Alvarez, no-hitter in his second Major League start. Wilson Alvarez for Kelly Miller and Tony Herkoch. Who do you want for Tony Herkoch? I got a feeling he's a good player for some reason. All right, I'm going to bust into my vintage, I think. Right there is good. Mr. Leroy Jordan, Cowboys, long-time player. Should be in the Hall of Fame. Come on. All right, that's it. Quick recap. Klummps did it. It was easy. Bill Brooks, Reggie Langhorne. I got Bill Brooks. He's got Reggie Langhorne. I get Merle Hodges. He gets Moose Johnston. I get Scott Case. He gets David Fulcher. I get Paxson. He gets Boa. I get Porter. He gets Butler. I get Kevin Miller. He gets Eddie Murray from his hometown team. Kelly Miller for Wilson Alvarez. And Tony Herkoch, Leroy Jordan. That's it, ladies and gents. Thanks for watching another blind trade in the books. And again, I'll mail these cards to Klummps, and after he receives them, I'll touch base with him, and then I'll release the video. So that way, none of this is a surprise for him. He knows who he has already before the video airs. But it's video magic for you all because you think it's just happening today. Anyway, thanks for watching. Give me a thumbs up if you like blind trades. If you haven't subscribed yet, hey, what are you waiting for? Click that one-click subscription icon right there, and then hit that notification bell. You'll be notified of all my future videos. And I'll put the previous blind trade right here. You can one-click and watch it for the first time. Or if you've already watched it and want to get bored to tears, click it again and watch it again. Hey, thanks, everybody. Leave a comment down below. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.